Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you hear this message, I pray that you are poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. So I want to follow up on a conversation about the importance of apologizing and exploring more deeply the idea that changed behavior is the best apology. And of course, I don't want to refute that because it is the best evidence of an apology. It's not the best apology. It's just the way in which we can affirm beyond the shadow of a doubt that the person who is apologizing is sincere, you know. And it also is necessary for us to be safe and healthy in our relationships with people. Because if you're doing things that hurt me, well, I can't be with you. And so I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, but I've got to actually see that you're going to, if you say you're going to stop doing something that is hurtful to me, I need to actually experience that. Okay, so I don't want to refute the basic truism that the best apology, the best evidence of an apology is really what I would say, is changed behavior. But I want to go a little bit deeper into the reasons why people don't apologize. What makes it difficult for us to apologize? And one of the driving factors is that when you hold within your heart a spirit of judgment, you're going to find it very hard to apologize. When you hold within your heart a spirit of condemnation, you're going to find it really hard to apologize. In other words, if your default is to condemn people when they make a mistake, if your default is to blame people when they make a mistake, if your default is to shame people when they make a mistake, then you are going to assume that other people are going to do that to you, right? So you don't want to acknowledge your fault because you assume that the other person or other people are going to shame you. They're going to blame you. They're going to condemn you. They're going to judge you. And so even if it's obvious that what you have done is inappropriate or is just outright wrong, you're not going to want to apologize, right? And oftentimes when you are really hard on yourself, you have a lot of really negative self-talk, then it becomes, right, just you're just totally convinced that all of the things that you say to yourself are going to come out and be, the other people are going to say it to you. And this is an even more difficult part of the equation. When you are engaging in a lot of negative self-talk, and you have a distorted self-image, you're gonna exhibit that in your behavior anyway. So that's part of what's driving you to do the thing, the antisocial thing anyway, right? So if you look at yourself as undesirable or not good enough or unattractive, and you are feeling that your basic existence is mostly characterized by some kind of a profound, fundamental rejection or abandonment, then, and you're not aware of that, and you're not facing that, you're not acknowledging that, you're gonna behave like someone who is rejected. You're going to do things that are antisocial. You're going to have a tone of voice. Your basic default, your language that you use, the angles and the perspectives, the logic that you use, the reasoning that you apply, the conclusions that you come to are all going to be reflective of this fundamentally negative self-image. And because of that, you're going to be constantly doing things that require you to apologize. All right. That is a really hard. So it becomes a almost what we call the self-fulfilling prophecy, the Pygmalion effect. Whereas I think that I am a failure, or I think that I am not good enough, or I think that I'm not attractive enough, or whatever the case may be. And then even when I find myself in a situation, in a relationship, in a location, in an environment where everything is reinforcing my desirability, everything in the environment is saying, oh man, we love you. Everything in your environment is saying, we appreciate you, we support you. How can we get behind you, right? Even though that's what the reality of your environment, when you have that negative track playing in the background, you're going to create situations and scenarios whereby it's going to reinforce your negative expectation. You're going to do things, like I said, that are constantly going to require that you're apologizing. Or they should require that you apologize. Okay? And this is a really deeply seated trauma within ourselves. And to some degree we all carry it. And I would say in the broadest, most general sense, any African in America is nursing that wound. Because everything in our environment is constantly and perpetually downgrading us and criticizing us and mistreating us and projecting all of the shadowy aspects of the national character onto us. Everything that's wicked and bad and negative and derogatory gets just projected onto us. And we're constantly having to shake that and purge that and get it off of ourselves, right? We're constantly trying to outlive that and shun that. And so to that degree, I totally understand it. And then there's, specific particular individual circumstances and life experiences that we have as individuals that, also have perpetuated this idea and fed us the notion that there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. And so therefore, when you believe there's something wrong with you, then you inadvertently act like something's wrong with you. Okay? And so I want to just acknowledge that as a painful reality. It's a painful thing to characterize one's existence. And my heart goes out to all of my people. My heart goes out to anyone who's hearing this message right now, because I know what that's like. I know how that feels. I understand that kind of a pain that you carry within yourself day after day after day after day after day, and you got to figure out all these different ways to get it out of you. You got to find out different ways to create more distance between that image and your real self. But the lesson that I want to share with you is that your ability to facilitate and engage in meaningful relationships with people is going to be characterized by the ways that you resolve conflict. It's not the conflict. It isn't just that you misbehaved. It isn't just that you created an error. It isn't just that someone else misbehaved or that someone else committed an error. It is the way that you address that discrepancy that's going to, characterize the quality of your relationship. It's going to define the quality of your environment. And so this is why your ability to recognize your missteps, your mistakes, your errors, and apologize for them, right? It's so important. It creates an environment. The risk is that you have to become more vulnerable. And this is why people are reluctant to apologize, because you've already committed an error. You committed an error in a way that, threatens to reinforce this negative self-image. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to face that. You don't want to have to, bear the brunt and take on all of this, more negativity. Right? So apologizing means you have to be more vulnerable. And the last thing you want to be when you made a mistake is more vulnerable. But this is truly what is going to heal your relationship and, to other people and to yourself. You got to be willing to take that risk, especially when you have evidence that this is an environment where you're safe, where people genuinely do care about you, where people genuinely do want what's best for you. It's not perfect, but you have a reason to be confident that these folks are looking out for you and they want what's best for you. You deepen that relationship by apologizing when you create an error. You might cry all the way through the apology. Your voice might tremble. It might take you 45 minutes just to say, I'm sorry for this, that, and the other. But when you do it, it's going to create a stronger bond between you and the people that you're in the environment with. And you don't have to have completely changed and revamped all of your behavior in order to just say, I acknowledge that what I said or what I did was hurtful to you. That's the part that I want to drive home with this lesson. Don't make it so that you only feel like you can only apologize when you have totally changed. Or don't make it so that you feel like other people can only apologize when they have completely revamped and overhauled their lives. No. In the moment that a person says, you know what, I'm sorry, they're acknowledging that what they have done has been something that was harmful to you. Accept that. And also be willing to make yourself, eligible to receive that. Be able to receive that for yourself. Make yourself vulnerable and give people the opportunity to really embrace you. It creates breakthrough opportunities in your interactions with people. And it's always available to you. Okay? And so, again, this is a message especially for the leaders, but this really is a message for everybody. This is a message for everybody. I really, I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that within our community, the idea and not only the idea, the practice, the religious and relentless, consistent and ongoing practice of apologizing has to become normalized. We have to become adept at apologizing and accepting one another's apologies. And beyond accepting apology, when you accept someone's apology, it creates an opportunity for you to enter into an agreement. Right? This is the Ogun in me. Ogun is about agreements. Okay, I accept your apology. I hear you and I see that you're sincere. Now we're going to make a pact with one another. How are we going to address this going forward? When there's a discrepancy, how can I help you? How can I support you? How can I keep holding you accountable? How can I keep supporting you in ways that are going to reinforce your real desired outcome? How can I continue to hold you accountable for being the best version of yourself? See, because what we do is we want to be right. We want to have pity parties and trauma bond, and we want to instead of getting better, we just want to get people who are going to co-sign. And that's not improving your life. That's not going to help you fulfill your destiny. It's going to surround you with mediocre people who are constantly, bringing you to lower vibrations. You want to associate with people who are comfortable holding you accountable for improvement. You want to associate with people who are not going to just let you, continuously stagnate. You want to associate with people who are going to hear what you have to say. They're going to empathize with you. They're going to show you love and compassion, but they're going to say, okay, but how are you going to get better? How are you going to improve? These are the things that I want us to normalize within our community, across the board. Whatever position you're in, whatever title you bear, let's make it normal for us to apologize to one another, to enter into agreements, and to hold one another accountable for improvement, for elevation, and for upliftment. This is a message for everybody. And if this message makes sense to you, if it resonates with you, then I want you to find out how Obafemi Origunwa and the Orisha Lifestyle Academy can help you take your practice and your life to the next level. Visit me at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com. Let's start working together to help you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you are destined to serve. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Odabo.